Okay, here we are. Chapter 8 of 8. Dang. This has been an adventure, and I am going to have some thoughts. However, the game still has the potential to earn some points. So let's see how this goes. I hope you're ready. I'm not. All of my thoughts are rage. Oh, I feel that. In the dead of night, something woke me up. The sound of the wind, an animal, whatever it was. It had pulled me up out of some dream. Another weird sentence. I sat up and listened. The night was quiet now. Nothing but crickets and white noise. I realized I really needed to pee. I've never had that problem, but yeah, you do you, fam. Bro can't grammar in his head. I mean, like, to be fair, I don't. Carefully, so as to not to wake Mallory, I got out of bed and headed downstairs to the bathroom, half asleep in the dark. Once I was done, I went into the kitchen for some water. I stood by the window with my glass, looking out at the sleeping world. I wasn't used to being awake at this hour. It was a little eerie. Jonathan, I had an unfortunate experience with buses today. Ooh, I'm sorry. That'll water. That'll ruin the water supply. True, how dare he exist? I glanced up at the dark loft where Mallory slept for a while. Her coughing had kept her and me awake, but I'd rub her back until we both drifted off. Thankfully, she was sleeping peacefully now, getting the rest she needed. Girlie deserves all the water. True. Worry made my stomach feel sick and my chest feel hollow. If there's no more water, she can have my tears. Aww. There's no way I'm getting back to sleep now. I paced back and forth for a minute, dragging my hands across my face. I needed a distraction. Something to shut down my brain or at least get rid of this nervous energy. Shaking my head, I went back to my desk and dropped into my chair. Computers were usually pretty distracting. I turned on the monitor and pulled out my keyboard. It was a membrane keyboard, so I didn't need to worry about making too much noise with my typing. Membrane keyboard? Excuse me? You don't have cherry reds? There were more emails waiting in my inbox. One was from a colleague who worked out of Vietnam. Okay. The time difference would have meant it was late in the afternoon over there, so she was probably wrapping up her work day as I sat there in the darkest hour of night. The subject line read, Remedy distribution underway. Just reading it made my blood boil. I was so sick of these empty promises. And for what? It's the middle of the night. What are you gonna do, Fab? I opened the email anyway. thinking maybe I could find whoever started this vile forwarding chain and send them a piece of my mind. But then my curiosity was piqued. The body of the email had a surprisingly official-looking Global Health Authority logo on the top. There were multiple language options, and scrolling to the appropriate section, I scrolled to the appropriate section and started to read. I don't want to say that. I don't want to try and say that. Okay. Public notice. The worldwide distribution of R. Pandavax is underway. Please read on information on how and where to seek treatment. Patients who receive R. Pandavax ugh, have a 96% chance of recovering from the 45% seen with traditional medical intervention. Damn, it really is a pandemic. Yeah. Right, I wish. Our Pandavax rollouts are now taking place with med tents being set up outside major hospital locations in the countries and cities listed below. Symptomatic individuals should visit their nearest med tent as soon as possible for assessment and hospital administration. The Last of Us reference. That's all this game is. That's all this game is. Hang on, this couldn't be real, could it? I scanned down the last, and there I saw it. The name of our city. Is this actually real? Shock and awe? Our Pandavax treatment will be administered free of charge with identification requirements relaxed by emergency order. Our Pandavax may also have a preventative effect, and individuals who have not been infected may opt to receive an immunizing dose. I would protect poor Girlie with my life. Yeah. You think he would. Oh. I scrolled up, down, searching the screen for some evidence that this was fake, a scam, a lie. Bro, just go to the fucking city. What have you got to lose? No, really, what do you possibly have to lose? Ugh. I pulled up the internet. What are you, 80? Speaking of Naughty Dog games, I almost bought the first 2 Uncharted games today. Almost. What stopped you? At least 100 articles came up, all posted within the last 24 hours. Bulletins from different news sources, statements from researchers, schedules being shared. I had a bus to cash. Boo-hoo-hoo. Buses be nicer to Jade. Also, my mic is coming in kind of low. Is this just me? Do I just have like a more chill voice today? I don't know. Whatever the case. But then the bus left as soon as I got there, and that wasn't even the worst. Yikes. My condolences, Jade. Screaming name. I called up towards the loft, my voice shaking like crazy, my gaze not leaving the screen. Uh-huh. I stood up, tremors running through my whole body. You've been quiet the whole series, but I was too scared to say anything. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm just working off of what OBS is telling me on my meters. Your bus got pulled over by a cop. Oh, I love it. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but like, give it time and you'll be laughing your ass off. Oh, man. Stop yelling at her. I was dashing up the stairs, staggering towards the bed, ready to pick her up and carry her out of the cabin if I had to. I couldn't believe this. I couldn't believe our luck. It felt like a dream. Could it really be real? Really real. I was on the bus for like 40 minutes when it usually only takes 10. Oh boy. My sincerest condolences. I'm just also an asshole, so I'm gonna laugh. I reached across the bed for her and she wasn't there. Mallory? I looked around the dark room wildly. Mallory? Nah, they already did the medicine stuff. We're good. The cabin remained silent. My heart pounded. Where was she? I raced back downstairs, calling out again and again as I searched the cabin, throwing open the door to the aquaponics room, the bathroom, the storage room, frantic. She heard me. She heard my cries. Where was she? That was when I noticed something resting on the kitchen table, a small notebook left open. I went over and picked it up. The top page had a note written in purple ink. A lump formed in my throat and my stomach twisted.
We both know I have it. My only hope is that it's not too late. That I haven't passed it to you. Because I want you to carry on with your life. Don't worry about me. I'm going back home to find out what happened to my sister. Whatever the answer is, I'm comforted to know we'll see each other again soon. I hope you know I would have stayed with you forever. But I'm thankful we had the time that we did. Love, Mallory.
There you go. Drama. I stared at the letter. No. I had only just been laying in bed next to her. I had only just found out that I might actually be able to help her. And now she's gone. I crumpled the paper in my hand, forming a tight fist for the first time in my life. In that moment, I was ready to put a hole through my wall. My heart was racing. I couldn't think straight. Dang it. I had to go after her. Forge Lady is picking her up right now. Let's go. She couldn't have made it far, not with her leg, and how sick she was. I was determined to find her, convince her to come back, convince her that we should be together, whatever the circumstances. She needed to know how I felt about her, how much she meant to me. I don't know, this is a lot about you, man. This really reads as you're trying to get what you want, and her thoughts and feelings are like, I don't know, a thing, I guess. Come on, get over it. I raced to get dressed, throwing on a sweater, the first pair of pants I found, shoving my feet into some shoes and grabbing a crank-powered flashlight off the side of the table. There wasn't time to think. I just had to move. I burst through the front door and onto the porch, nearly tripping down the steps before racing across the muddy lawn, my feet splashing in puddles. I was panting, sprinting almost blindly through the dark, in whatever direction I thought Mallory might have gone. I was through the garden, over the hill, nearing the woods when... Ha. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha. Suddenly, I slammed against the ground, pain shooting through me. It took me a moment to get my bearings and understand what had happened. The trap. How the hell? No, but I completely forgot about moving it. How did I let this happen? Most crowd-pleasing moment of this game. Oh boy. I sagged against the ground, gritting my teeth. I couldn't let this slow me down. I gathered my strength to push myself up and looked back at my foot. It was my foot that had been caught. Huh? And at a strange angle. I could only assume it was because of the way I had been running so fast, practically flying over the slopping ground. I twisted and reached to release the trap, which took a few tries. Finally, I was able to scramble away and stand up, but the pain in my foot was excruciating. Oh, Jade. You are so fine. It is okay. Oh boy. We got a good ending. I mean, sure, maybe Girlie's gonna die, but like, this feels good. No time to deal with that now. I continue down the path, limping heavily and bleeding into my shoe, calling Mallory's name. As I made my way, shoving my hand into my sweater pocket, pulled out the flashlight. The same one that had led me to Mallory that first night. I immediately started cranking it, hoping against hope that it would lead me to her again. But as I entered the trees, I stopped, hesitating. Mallory's note said she was heading back to the city to check on her sister. Most likely she'd taken the footpath through the woods. The path she'd taken to get here in the first place. I might be able to catch up with her if I followed, but depending on how much a head start she had. If I followed the old driveway instead, I'd eventually make it to the highway. It was a longer path, but more for straightforward one, and I could manage to flag down a car and get a ride. Then I might be able to reach the city before Mallory did. I had to pick quickly. My man, we're gonna torture you. Go through the trees. Both options seemed so risky, I took my chances and started down the footpath in the woods. Already I could barely walk. My shoe felt tight and wet. Every step sent pain shooting through my soul, especially on the rugged forest floor. I shone the flashlight back and forth across the ground and the trees, avoiding fallen branches and jutting rocks. The thought of Mallory being out here alone, sickly and without any light, terrified me. I knew I wasn't moving fast enough. I tried to pick up the pace, ignoring the throbbing pain in my foot and breathing hard through my nose. Girlie gave me a little kiss right now. Just rub it in. A sudden glimmer caught my eye. I turned, pointing the beam of light towards whatever I'd seen. But the motion was clumsy and I lost my balance. My pant leg caught on a jutting branch as I fell. I felt the fabric tear. The flashlight beam showed me the white tail of a deer, startled by my fall, dashing away into the darkness. I managed to catch myself by grabbing a tree, but even leaning heavily against it, shivering cold, with a flashlight beginning to dim, my foot going numb, everything seemed hopeless. My heart ached to be back home, back with her. Just a few hours earlier, that's where I wanted to be. I straightened myself up, stepping back onto the path. Tears clouded my vision. I blinked them away. That was when I noticed the rip in my pant leg. Wait, is he actually gonna die? I hope so. Oh, I'm an abomination. These were the same pants I'd been wearing the night I met Mallory. I had torn them coming into the cabin, but the tear had been fixed with a heart patch. I remembered Mallory taking that box of clothes and seeing her later with a needle and thread as she worked to stitch up the rips and fasten buttons. But she hadn't just mended these pants, she embroidered them. She left a sweet token of herself and her ability to love and care for others. My heart swelled and ached, and all I wanted to do was cry. Why did this have to happen? 'Cause you're a dick. If you didn't set up those stupid bear traps, she would have knocked on your door and everything would have been fine. You made all of this. Accept responsibility. Why did I have to lose everyone I dared to love? Because you don't. You were walled off. You didn't want to give her a chance. No, I refused to accept it. I stood up. My determination to find her was renewed. but my body wouldn't comply with my head. At least he didn't say brain. It wasn't just my foot now, but most of my leg numb, full of pins and needles, interspersed with pain, each stab knocking my knee out of place and sending me staggering. I wasn't going fast enough. I couldn't go fast enough. I held onto the trees and used them to drag myself forward. Too dizzy even to look at where I was going. Slowly, pale city lights grew visible through the brush. The sky was starting to lighten. Mallory. I called for her, but my voice came out, weak and dry. I coughed and groaned. It felt like I'd never catch up to her. I'd never find her. But there, rising up before me, was the city. Finally, I reached the city. The sun wasn't up yet. The streets were dim and mostly empty. Yeah, COVID for real. It took so much more. It looked so much more decrepit than I had imagined. The buildings were totally overgrown. There were broken windows and crumbling bricks. The roads were all cracked apart. Oh, I already lost, but it was really getting unpleasant, so apologies. Here and there, bits of keep your distance tape fluttered, forgotten. The people who were left did not need to be reminded. There was a lot of vandalism, too. I walked past some dusty-looking grocery store, which had 3 people lined up outside, each of them wearing heavy-duty masks and spaced at least 8 feet apart from one another. Okay, this is The Last of Us. Right. I couldn't imagine how tough it must have been on Mallory and her family living here, trying to stay safe and survive in a rundown dump like this. Mallory had said she lived on the top of the tallest building on a street near the planetarium. Thank God I had asked her enough questions to know that. If she was heading back to find her sister, that's where she'd be going. Yeah, we only compare them in as much to make fun of this game. But would she have even made it that far? I wondered what the chances were that she'd ended up in a medical center, either on her own or because someone had decided to help her. After all, if the news bulletin I'd received was true, then she might actually be able to receive treatment. I mean, going through the planetarium is the most likely way you'd die, so we will not get medical attention and certainly not get a crutch. I didn't think Mallory would let anything get in the way of her going home. Blah. She was determined to find out what had happened to her sister. So that was where my search had taken me. I reached back into my memory, trying to get my bearings and figure out which way to go. The planetarium was closer to the river. I knew that. I started down the street in that direction. Planetarium is a depressed horse show reference. True, though. My head was spinning. I couldn't feel my foot anymore, but I kept going, leaving bloody shoe prints behind me. Hope was the only thing that kept me going. I treaded over the rubble in the streets, passing broken hazard signs and empty storefronts, unable to stop myself from imagining the riots that must have been taking place years ago. When the top of the old planetarium building came into view, I sprinted the rest of the way. Yeah, make sure you die. I looked at the buildings surrounding that one. Which was the apartment building where Mallory lived. I scanned the windows and balconies for a sign. Balconies in sight, looking for some sign of her. Ugh. I turned in a circle, searching every street corner and bus stop I could see. It was like a ghost town. I tipped my head back to call out for Mallory. That's when I caught sight of a purple figure on a rooftop overhead. I'm not screaming. I didn't even know if she could hear me. I just hurried as fast as my body would let me around the building to the fire escape. A dry, rotting feeling was building in my chest. I could hardly breathe. Blah. I reached the top of the fire escape and hauled myself onto the roof where I was sure I had seen Mallory. I looked around for her, and for a moment my body ceased all functions, as I could actually feel my heart skip a beat. Where was she? A cool breeze blew past, and all I could do was stand there for a few moments, processing everything that was happening.
I'm here.
No. No. When I thought he might die, I tried to optimize for him to die. Come on. Sometimes we just can't be happy. Sometimes we just can't be happy. Okay. I turned to find the source of that small, weak voice. There she was at the opposite edge of the rooftop, her delicate frame backlit by the gentle rising sun. Dark hollows hung under her eyes and her cheeks. She trembled, barely able to hold herself upright. Fuck this game. This Girlie is fake, not the real Girlie. Let's go. Yo, I'm about it.
Why are you here?
The real Girlie is snuggling with me right now. True. She didn't look at me as she spoke. My throat felt like it was twisting shut. Your letter, I found it, and I couldn't just let you go. Funny how this is about you, isn't it? Do I sound like a woke feminist yet? Maybe I'm a dick, but I can imagine where this is gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna bleed out next to her, and she's gonna have to watch him die. She listened and continued to gaze out on the cityscape, avoiding eye contact with me.
You shouldn't be here. It's dangerous for you to be close to me.
She was so out of breath, approaching her slowly, terrified that she would just float away. That doesn't matter to me now. I care about you too much. Uh-huh. I'm not saying it because it's not true. She turned her face, finally giving me a weak smile.
You dummy. I love you too. That's why I had to leave.
This is why I'm purposefully closed. Relatable. She swayed then, as if turning to look at me had made her dizzy, and her body dipped towards the ledge. Fuck this game. I lunged, panicked, and grabbed Mallory's narrow arms. In one swift movement, I had pulled her onto myself. Okay. Yeah, that is redirected. I have no idea. I just had a dyslexic moment there. Excuse me. You tell him, Jade. You tell him. Redirected the shift away to have her fall into my arms. Gently, I helped lay her down. Her cheeks were blood red and her skin like fire. She struggled to keep her eyes open. Aww. Cute. The situation's shit, but she's cute.
I don't have much time left.
How would you know?
Maybe you're just a dream.
No, Mallory, you don't understand. There's a treatment. There's a treatment, and it's right here in the city. And that still isn't true. Don't you see? I could have saved you. Why did you have to run away from me? Fuck you. She managed to look up at me, her eyes sparkling more than ever.
There's a cure?
I nodded vigorously, 'cause I'm not good with words.
My sister wasn't home. Do you think maybe she managed to get the cure?
I don't know about you, but I can't hear her voice at all. Not at all. What day was I supposed to be picking up kids? Well, surely my kid would have been here by now. Uh-oh. My shoulders rounded as I fought back tears. Of course, Mallory wouldn't even think of herself.
And you. You can get it too. It was selfish of me to stay with you. I should have known.
Yeah, no. No, don't start that. She paused, sputtering and coughing weakly. Then she tried to smile, but tears washed across her eyes instead.
Promise me. Promise me you'll take the cure.
But what about you?
I don't want to die knowing I made you sick.
Okay, Girlie got knocked some points for this. Her eyes began to close. I could tell she was starting to fade. No, Mallory. I don't want you to go. I'll carry you down to the hospital right now, or I'll yell until they find us up here. I shook her. vigorously, her neck whipping back and forth aggressively. I hate this. I tried to kill him, but she died instead. You can't go, please. I was alone for so long. I forgot what it was like to live. And then you came into my world and tears began to roll down my cheeks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You don't need to have any regrets because having you in my life has been the best thing to ever happen to me. So don't you dare regret anything. Too weak to wipe away her tears, they fell onto the cold concrete blocks we were resting on. A chill breeze blew up the side of the building and carried with it the stale smell of the pavement. First human emotion of a bro. True.
Promise me you'll go on. Please. The baby chickens, they need you. Promise me.
Yes, I promise. I promise, Mallory. Uh-oh. A raven cawed loudly somewhere nearby. The wind died down, and suddenly everything was impossibly silent and still. Mallory's hand slipped off of my lap and fell onto the ground. Slowly, I watched her eyes close one last time, and a quiet peace fell over us. All the color had left her soft cheeks, and I felt her presence leave me. The sunrise shone a bright beam of light on us, almost as if we were players in a tragic play caught under the spotlight. Softly, I grazed my hand across her cheek to feel the warmth one last time before she turned to cold. Why couldn't I have found her sooner? Because you It was a little while before I was able to return to the cabin. As much as I wanted to give up on myself, on everything else, I had made a promise to Mallory. So I went to the med tent, got assessed, blah. Oh my gosh. Got assessed by and admitted from preventative treatment with blah. Then kept close watch on me for a week before finally deeming me fit to go home. I went back to the cabin, which didn't quite feel like home anymore. It was the same beautiful landscape, but okay, I admit living in a cabin would be cool. Oh, I can stay at a cabin, sort of, so I know pros and cons. I couldn't put my finger on what was different, so I just went about my business like normal. The chickens were fine. They ripped open their feed bag and had a feast in my absence, so they were fat and in good spirits. There was a fresh crop of weeds in the garden and on the grass. Like Mallory and I never cleaned them out at all. Wait, what happened with Girlie? It was buffering. She legit died. We had like empty eye sockets, everything. She's dead. Near the front porch, I found a package which looked like it had been left outdoors a little too long, and my heart sank. It must have been that order I placed for drone delivery with the first aid kit and the aspirin end. I bent to pick up the package and sat right there on the porch to open it. There was the first aid kit, nicely stocked, a fresh bottle of aspirin, shiny and sealed. And then there was the ring I'd bought from Mallory. The one with the dainty purple stone that reminded me so much of her. How is she dead when she's literally with me right now? True, that was her shadow clone. I stared at it for a while and started talking to myself. What now? I don't know. This is the ending he deserves. There really wasn't much more to it than that. I got up and went inside, taking the ring with me. I'd put it on a string and wear it around my neck, I decided. Then I'd make some tea, and then I had to think about it for a minute. I decided to do something good. Thanks to science, medicine, and basic compassion, there was hope for humanity again. I would be a part of that. I would help the world. We can make things even better than they'd been before. I'd do my best for her. Okay, that is too cute. Okay, that is fucking adorable. Oh my gosh, I can't. I can't. Oh no. That is too cute. Uncharted reference. Let's go. Okay. Here we are. Like hell, I'm trying to get another ending. Credits. All of the people who did the stuff. This is them. Shoutouts for making a video game. I mean, it's more than I've done with my life. All I've done is make a kid. Anywho. Okay. Friends, I have some thoughts. I have a lot of them, in fact. Oh, wait. Before we get into that, we gotta go back to this. Here. Here. Close. Plus. Manage software. Delete. Okay. Now we can do this. It's nice to not be DMCA'd for giving people credits. That's cool. I appreciate it. At any rate. So here's where we're at, okay? All of the negative fears I had expressed, way to just like knock him out of the park. His little change of heart can't hurt me anymore. True. So the whole wish fulfillment thing, bad. And his turn of heart, yeah, so unwarranted. And sure, it's like karma came back to get him, but I kind of don't care. If you ever considered that DMCA that contains DMC, they're taunting you. Yeah, that's definitely one that'll get me. But I think it's hilarious to just be like that close at any rate. So okay. What I said before about this being a possible good teaching tool still stands. I'm going to give you a fantastic example. If you know me, you know I love Rune Factory. We're going to play 5 on stream. It's going to be absolute shit, but you know what? I know how to optimize the hell out of that game, so it's going to go by fast. Like, we're not going to do any farming in the farm sim because, like, no, really, it's a bad way of making money. It's a bad way to make money. But Rune Factory, Tides of Destiny, it is a fantastic game. Number 1, just because it's quality all around. Number 2, because it's one of the rare examples of, instead of Nintendo getting a shitty port, Sony got a shitty port of a Nintendo game. That makes me so happy. Like, they put it on the PS3, and it doesn't use the right stick for camera controls. Let that sink in for a minute. You can't control the camera with the right stick. I love it so much. It makes me so happy. Oh, it makes me happy. Anyway. Odette. Best girl. Fight me. Absolutely love her. But before we get into that, I should explain a few things. For those of you who don't know, Rune Factory was made by the same guy that makes Harvest Moon. And he's like, you know what? What if I... Okay. Rewind. He noticed that RPGs tended to have the items shop and the weapons shop just be like faceless menus, and he didn't like that. And so he took Harvest Moon and he made an RPG out of it. And as so, just kind of like fixed all the problems. And the romance aspect is still in the Rune Factory games. And if you go through Odette's romance stuff, you are going to reach a point where she invites you with her to go shopping for her sister's birthday. And then at the store, she sees a bracelet. And she's just like all starry-eyed. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I would love this. Ooh, this is so... I love it. This makes me so happy. And so our boy takes it, buys it, she gets all happy. And then he gives it to her sister for her birthday, because they're birthday shopping. And he's like, I thought you were saying this would be a good present for her. And Odette just kind of like blows her lid. And here's the real kicker. Because, like, I've made similar mistakes. Let's just be honest. I've screwed up in similar ways. But here's where it really gets good, okay? Until you hit the next romance event, she doesn't want to talk to you. She won't make eye contact. She's just one-word answers. If she says anything at all. And it's like, shit. That's the required path. That's not you chose wrong. That's the required path. Part of her story is getting through that. And that's awesome. Also, another marriage candidate. Her name is Violet. And there are 2 orphan kids living at the local church. And little boy gets a crush on Violet. This is his friendship questline. And it begins to consume more and more of his thoughts. And so you go and you talk to her. She sits him down and rejects him. And he's like super shy and introverted already. So just fucking destroys him, man. But as it goes along, he learns to appreciate it. He's grateful for the experience, and he learns and he grows from it. You can do this shit. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure a happy ending really wouldn't change anything for me. Motherfucker created this issue. Didn't fix it. You didn't have an option to get rid of the bear traps. You had leave them where they are or move them somewhere else. And the move them somewhere else was a gotcha. It was a trap. Ha. Funny. I see what you did there. But like, no really. But like, no really. He was like needlessly cruel. And I have no reason to believe he would change beyond that. Like really, every time, go watch, every single time he said, when did I start caring so much? When did I start feeling this way? What did I say? I don't know. It's news to me too, bro. Also, not jump scare juice. Sorry, not sorry. There were glimmers of good things in there, but high key, the progress never felt earned because he changed off screen. He grew a moral compass off screen. He learned how to care off screen. And yeah, no. Yeah, no. You know, sitting here, I guess the way I would best describe it, 3 out of 5. You did too much to screw it up in the start, and like, no. I wasn't sympathetic for his loss, making him set up bear traps. I guess how I want to put this is, who is this for? Because you describe an incel, and then, like, they're not gonna really learn anything from this because you never challenged their views. You just had the protagonist change. And so, like, what does that do? No, really, what does that do? The protagonist just changes. Yay for him, I guess. Oh well, this is done. 3 out of 5. Could have done better. We're gonna do some silly stuff, because boy, we can use some silly stuff after this. The next series... probably gonna be Trials of Mana. Ooh, hiya hiya! How's it going, Kaito? Your timing. You missed me uninstalling this stupid fucking game. But still, it means the world to me that you stopped by. I appreciate it so much. Thank you dearly. Are you finished streaming now? My timing is awful. I mean, do you want to watch me put my Mikus on that shelf? Because we could do that. I've got a lot of them. Oh, by the way, you are probably nerdy enough to appreciate, but can you guess who my favorite producer is? Can ya? Because holy shit, I dropped 70 for this. No hesitation. Just like, BAM! I mean, it's more VOD Watcher to review. Also, Miku looks so cute. Yeah, that is Pinocchio P for... Now I'm trying to blank on the name. Because you're here. That's what it is. My goodness, I cried. I cried. Oh my goodness, I cried. Love Pinocchio P. Love his work so much. Collab with Deco was freaking amazing. That gets stuck in my head a lot. Also, PSA, if you do watch my VODs, do us both a favor and put it on 1.5. It's good for you because you get more of your life back, and it's good for me because my ego goes up knowing just how much better my voice sounds on 1.5. So like, I take that. I'll take that. I want to look as good as possible. Oh boy. IDK, what you're on about, John? That's okay. That's okay, Jade. Get more of my life back. I mean, this is a visual novel, so if you just want to listen to himbo voice while you lab out combos, yo, it works. VOD watchers, I'ma try and move past my aggression. Well, here's the thing. If Kaito's being a VOD watcher, we give respect because you watched her kick my ass. I got my ass beat by a girl. Again. Aw, toxic masculinity is shit. Kaito, you gonna be on? Because, like, I could use something to distract me from all this. Sweet, I will hit you up. I have all day to myself. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know if that placement for the shelf is going to be permanent. We were kind of thinking about moving that, but then where are the Eevees gonna go? Okay, hold up. I'm gonna be a nerd. Appreciate how big they is. They is so big, and they so squish. And oh my gosh, I love them. But yeah, if that's gone, I don't know what I'm doing with these guys. I still need to Tetris this shit. Oh yeah, the camera doesn't do it favors, but like, I don't know how to stress just how small this room is. Like, the hammock stand is 13 feet, and that's most of the room. It's just most of the room. Oh boy. But yeah, a large part of why we went with the hammock was to try and optimize. Because I have to make room for the small child. That's the downside to being a minimalist, isn't it? You kind of don't get to claim spaces. Oh boy. Alright. What I'm doing with my room? Future John problem. Right now, I'm gonna get this wrapped up, and then I'm gonna see if I can get some comments on my Marie gameplay. The less you own, the less expensive it is to move. Okay, so like, I left a lot of stuff with baby mama out of the Alice stream because like, yeah, things got way messy and there's a lot of hurt to go around, but like, I don't want to shit talk. But when we were moving out the first time, yeah, that's where I learned to appreciate minimalism. The collectible stuff is a sign that I'm not totally there yet, but yeah, when you're trying to figure out how to live with someone, you figure out stuff is a thing. Oh well, I wouldn't trade the hammock for anything. It took a lot of getting used to, but I'm happy with it now. I'm rambling a lot. Here's all we need to know. The dog fucker didn't die. I'm sad about that. Jade's sad about that. And if you watch the VODs, you'll be sad about that too, Kaito. But you know what? He can't hurt us anymore. He's gone. Everything's fine now. It's fine. We're okay. We are okay. Tomorrow, we're gonna learn why I love Hilda so much, and it's gonna be awesome. Jade, Kaito, thank you. The dude fucked his dog. What do you want from me? They did everything but directly say it. Their words, not mine. Oh my gosh, that game was something else. Simping for Hilda tomorrow. Jade, Kaito, thank you for stopping by. It means the world to me. VOD watchers, I love you. Stay safe. Be careful. And I'll see you around. Take it easy. Have a good one. End card. Boop.